Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Do you remember the Jaguar rebrand of Copy Nothing? This very strange, non-binary, gender fluid, quite awkward Mars hellscape. Almost like a fashion walk, I think. I don't really understand it. Well, anyway, that rebrand happened. They pledged to close down effectively all of their dealerships, turn them into art installations, actually was one of the statements that they were making. Well, the Jaguar managing director, so not the CEO, the managing director, the CEO's gone, which is funny in and unto itself. The designer behind the Jaguar rebrand, he's gone, weirdly. Well, anyway, the MD, and I'm not joking, his actual name, Rawdon Glover. That's right. This is not a joke. His actual name is Rawdon Glover. Or Rawdon Glover. Anyway, he's come out and done an interview. And he said that the brand reinvention didn't work commercially. And he comes to explain why they've done a rebrand. I think it's worthwhile taking a look at. Quite comical as well. For those that don't know, I have a car channel. I mean, if you didn't know I'm into cars, you've not looked at the background. You'd just be looking at my eyes, I guess. But I like my cars quite a lot. I have a car channel that I don't really talk about very often. I just tinker away on cars. So I like covering this stuff because it's interesting. And I don't know, this sort of crosses over a little bit with what I've been doing here on the channel. I mean, I've made videos and they've done well. So you guys seem to like me covering this stuff. It's been eye-opening. So I thought we'd cover this and take a look at it. So, again, this is the... I'm not joking. Rawdon Glover. Or Rawdon Glover. Guys, his parents must hate him. Honestly. Do you have no self-awareness? Rawdon Glover. I thought it was a joke when I first saw it. But no, his name is actually Rawdon Glover. We just talk about that and how bizarre it is for hours. So Jaguar's been through it of late. A year ago, we saw it was rebrand. It was a year ago now, crazy. And clapped our eyes on the radical Type 00 concept. Now we've had a passenger ride in the prototype. This is Top Gear. 1,000 brake horsepower tri-motor GT prototype. Will sit proper in 2026. So they did this interview with Rawdon Glover. And they said, why did Jaguar need a total reinvention? Why did you need to throw out straight white men? Why? And, you know, wealthy people. Obviously, we were previously operating in this volume premium space, which is dominated generally by the Germans, but not exclusively. And it didn't work. Jaguar didn't work commercially. So we were at a crossroads, because just continuing as we were and saying, well, let's just do what we're doing and sell more, doesn't work. The Volkswagen Group sells 7 to 10 million cars. We're selling 4 or 500,000 cars. The manufacturing economy is just night and day different. While we call it the premium segment, it's brutally competitive, so we needed to change. And that's quite funny because it actually overlooks all of the quality issues that Jaguar's had. Massive quality issues with their cars. I mean, you'd sell more if you had a better reputation, but okay. Why? And the thing is, like, they have made nice cars. Like, the F-Type's a nice looking car. But then they started making, like, SUVs. It's like, for God's sake. And as well, like, to claim that the Germans, like, Volkswagen Group, sells 7 to 10 million cars. Yeah, that's the Volkswagen Group. Volkswagen Audi Group, which I think is Volkswagen, Audi, and Skoda. And I think there might be another one in there, if I remember rightly. So, yeah, they're going to sell a lot more. They make one platform, share it between all these different brands. Obviously, they're going to sell more. What a ridiculous comparison. That's a false comparison. Why this decision to go lower volume, higher price? Because that's the interesting thing. They're like, well, we can't sell more, so we'll sell less at a higher price. Right. Okay, then. If we look where JLR's business model really does work, it's with Range Rover, which is quite different in price point and product concept. So there was almost a model for us there in terms of the economics, harnessing the engineering resource and the design capability. If you then look back to when was Jaguar successful, it was when it had a really concise range. For the majority of its history, it was about beautiful sports cars and beautiful saloons. Not in large numbers, but at higher price points, and generally doing things different from the competition. There are lots of examples of that from our past, like disc brakes, the use of aerodynamics, going back to the 50s, the E-Type, rewriting the rules. So they thought they'd make this. Well done. Well done. Doing things differently, and yet they come out with like the most generic woke shit ever. Oh dear. Whatever. Our founder, Sir William Lyons, talked about Jaguar being at its very best when it was a copy of nothing. When everybody else is going there, that's fine. Have the strength of your own conviction to go and do something different. All of that led us to where we find ourselves today. The linkage to the past is very clear for us. We understand what a Jaguar should drive like. We think we understand the brand dynamically. We understand the DNA of the company, what drives it, what its purpose is, why it exists on the planet. And I genuinely think if Sir William Lyons were here today, he'd be saying, that is what a 21st century Jaguar should look like. Are you, what? By the way, the actual thing looks like this. So, I mean, it's like a brick. Because concept cars, which this is a concept car. What they do with concept cars, right, is they then just take the design language from it. So they looked at this and thought, this. Brilliant. I mean, that's fucking ugly as piss, mate. Brilliant. Look at that massive flap there for the... Oh, you can't really see it. I can. There's a huge panel here that's going to be to charge the battery. That's terrible. Yeah, it's not... I mean, it's not great, is it? Wow. Yep. That, ladies and gents, that's a modern day Jaguar. Dog shit. Anyway. So what exactly is this higher price point you're talking about? In UK numbers, our average transaction price used to be about 55 grand. This will be more than double that. So the centre of gravity in the UK would be about £120,000. The launch edition of the new car will start at 140 grand. For that. It's not going to do it. Think of it in those price terms. If we think about the market where we want to play, the premium players do go higher than 130 grand, but they tend to top out around 120 to 130. Then you've got to go all the way up to the ultra luxury brands like Lamborghini, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, and they don't really do anything under a 300. So there's quite a big chunk of space there, particularly at the lower end. Amazing. Crazy. Anyway, so they go on to talk about the reaction to the Type 00 concept and the rebrand itself from your point of view. The reaction has been fascinating. It correlates strongly with the clinics. What? Gender transition clinics. You get a group of mentalists. You get a group of people who get it straight away, love it, and want to see it. You get another group who say, I don't understand it, I don't know where Jaguar has gone. But when you unpack the story and explain the thinking, they say, okay, I get it now. And then there's a group who say, I understand it, but it's not for me, and that's okay. Yeah, there's also everyone else that looks at it and goes, this is disgusting, ugly, and what the fuck have you done? Take the E-Type as an example. They weren't going for nice, they were going for bold. They wanted to create something the world had never seen. And when it landed in 1961 at Geneva, it looked like it was from Mars. That's the bar we're aiming for. Time will tell, but that's the challenge for me and the whole team. We want to be producing vehicles that people are talking about in 50 years' time. Yeah, this will go down as the car that destroyed the brand, but okay. That's what Jaguar should be doing, not worrying about carving out share in the compact SUV segment, which we were doing unsuccessfully. That, I get. Didn't mean you have to make a brick on wheels, though. And also just go fully EV when now they're going to be abandoning that. You're an idiot. What's been the biggest challenge in bringing this first car to production? We landed on a design concept that didn't work on any existing architecture, ours or anyone else's. Those proportions are why it looks like nothing else, so we developed our own architecture. The Jaguar Electric Architecture. Wow, creative name. Then the challenge becomes, how do you retain those proportions? How do you keep it low? Put it on 23-inch wheels. That's way too big. Get 400 miles of range and maintain purity. That comes down to dedication, tenacity, and ingenuity engineering, which is something we're really good at. Anyway, what does success look like? Have you set a target number? Success isn't moment in time. Yeah, I bet I didn't. We've invested in a new platform and a new body line at Solihull. I know the return I need over the life cycle, around 8 years. That comes from a combination of price and volume. The reason we're launching with a 4-door GT isn't because it's the biggest segment, but because it positions Jaguar at that price point. What's next? Are you looking at a 3-model range like Lamborghini or Bentley? The days of 7 or 8 models are gone. Expect a condensed range all around similar price points. Mental. This is, again, all of this to make this. Brilliant. Brilliant. Anyway, there you go. An update from Raw Dong Lover.